Hey everyone, Sam here. Welcome to another episode of the Analytic Mind podcast. I'm actually streaming this live as well across our new AI builders community. So if you want to get involved in that, jump onto Enterprise DNA's platform and you'll see a big button that says AI builders. And this is where we're talking a lot about the new tsunami of opportunity that is happening right now around data, application development, automations. There is just some incredible things going on in this space. What I want to focus on today is I've come up with this term. I've been sharing it a little bit, and I want to go into it even more. I want to go into what I think is the biggest opportunity right now for individuals, for businesses to empower individuals around this, and that's to become the full stack AI professional, right? There is such exponential improvement happening in these space of AI, right, across all modalities, that it's opening up such a huge opportunity to do a lot more, and to become a lot more. And the way I've sort of turned this, and obviously I'm coming from a data background. A lot of those who've been with Enterprise DNA over time are coming from a data background, and so the whole idea around this new concept of the full stack AI professional is how you can move. You can move from someone who might have been a data person, and you can become this full stack professional, this full stack AI professional, where you can do so much more. You can do so much more. It's undeniable at this point. The way that you can learn from these models, use them, and a lot of tools that are being built up around them. There's just enormous opportunity. Enormous opportunity to do new things. And I want to go over some of the things that I'm seeing and that I'm doing, and that I think that everyone can do around this concept of the full stack AI professional. I've been toying with the idea of, this is kind of my manifesto, my full stack AI professional manifesto. I want everyone to believe that they can do this, right? And just to give you an example, I mean, I'm doing it. I'm doing it myself. Like, I haven't been this involved in learning new things and actually executing on building for years. I'm even going through this own personal evolution myself, from being good at data related things, being good at Excel, being good at Power BI. Well, now I'm feeling like super comfortable building applications, building websites, building desktop applications. I want to get into mobile apps. I want to get into Chrome plugins. There's just enormous opportunities to develop so many more things, and that's the direction that Enterprise DNA is going. We are educating on this. We are going to empower you, building our own applications around this. Yeah, so it's just a continuation on of what we've been doing for a little while now, and we're just all in on this new wave, right? I don't even call it a wave. I call it a tsunami. I literally call it a tsunami of opportunity, which is opening up, right? And we're trying to do this in many, many ways because of how big a deal this actually is. One of the things that I think you have to get your mind around quickly, right, is I still see so much belief that, or maybe not belief, but hesitancy to really embrace all the things that AI can do for you, because of the concern that it is disruptive to your job role, right? Like, I really highly suggest to just move away from that thinking, right? Like, AI is actually opening up enormous opportunity for everyone who realizes and sees what it enables you to do, what it empowers you to do, right? Look, it's not perfect, but it can help you achieve so much, right? It can help you achieve so much. The thing that's happening in behind the scenes is these models that they're putting out, they're getting that much better. And the tools that are being built around these models are becoming better as well, right? One of the biggest things that I noticed last year in 2024 was that as soon as the models got better, this entire ecosystem of tools could get developed around it that became super useful, right? So back when AI first came out, the models were average, and everyone thought, oh, okay, this isn't that useful, right? And so a lot were getting introduced at that time to AI, and some of the things that were built around that, like Copilot, for example, right? But there's been this new wave, particularly in the developer space, right? Like, where AI is making the biggest impact right now is in the developer space. It's already at a level of some of the top coders in the world, right? And there's this ecosystem of tools that has been built up around it. And the thing that I've realized with software and development is that once you can be empowered by AI to develop your own stuff, like your own software, and to be able to do it relatively quickly and for far less cost, that's where this world of opportunity starts becoming visible, right? Because you realize, wow, okay, if I can build this, I can build this app, I can build this app, apps that you never thought possible or never even thought about because they felt so unachievable or too expensive or unobtainable. Those apps now become a reality. They become real. And not only can you build these at much lower cost, you can customize them so much more to your own business, right? To your own use cases. For a long time, the wave of how software has been implemented within business is because it's been so expensive and takes a lot of resources to build and to maintain, etc. Is that you had to use, in a lot of cases, what was one size sort of fits all, right? We're in a new era here. We're in a new era where a lot of the tools that you use within all business functions, you can actually customize yourself. You can actually build them yourself, okay? We're still very early in this wave. We're still super early, but it's going to be huge. It's going to be a tsunami, right? Take, for example, your CRM, right? Your CRM, so this is a core part of any business, right? Historically, like there's a few firms that have dominated in this space, but then when you use them, as soon as you use these ones that are used by everyone, there's no real competitive advantage if you think about it, because you're all using the same thing to manage your customer databases or your customer interactions. Also, a lot of these tools have massive feature creep where there's so many features that sometimes they become so complex that the cost to implement them becomes so significant, right? Because you need people to be able to train up on these things to use them effectively. You need to sometimes get consultants in to actually make them work. So that has been historically the norm with these things. But now, what era we're moving into, right, is that you, in theory, will be able to, theoretically, you still need some resources to actually build these, but that's what I mean by that. This is what I term the full stack AI professional, right? The benefits of this new wave is that you'll be able to build a lot of this yourself. You'll be able to build this very customized to you, very customized to you. So very customized to the interactions that you have with your customers, very custom to the details and the data that you want to extract from your customers. You'll be able to extract information in lots of new and exciting ways, through AI modalities like audio or vision or text or any number of new ways that are being created right now and getting much, much better. That's where I see, that CRM example is just one example. It's just one example of where I see opportunity absolutely everywhere, right? Like, I don't believe we will be all using the same software within the next 3, 5, 10 years. Like, I feel like you'll be able to create a competitive advantage around your software because you'll be able to build a lot of it yourself internally. That goes for individuals improving their own productivity with their own apps, but also businesses improving their productivity and competitive advantages with their own software, right? It's a big change, but this is what is happening. This is truly what is happening right now. This is the beginnings of it. And it's just going to get even easier, better, more scalable. Like, I even heard a snippet from Sam Altman the other day, or a couple of things, right? Is, first of all, their O3 model is the 175th best coder in the world at the moment, right? Like, from some coding metric that they have there. They now internally have it at the top 50, and they believe by the end of the year, they're going to have the best coder in the world, right? Okay, so they basically solved coding. It hasn't been released to everyone yet, but coding has been solved. Also, he mentioned that you'll be able to use, they're obviously building something internally, but the models are getting that good that you'll be able to create $5,000 worth of value historically from spending maybe 50 cents or something, or like a very low number. So the difference, so like how quickly that differential is being opened up from how much it costs to do things historically to how much less it is going to be very, very soon. I mean, even now it's much less. Like, it's probably 10 times less now, but it seems like it's going to dramatically go even further. And so you have to believe, like, I have no reason not to believe that. And I believe that even from what I'm using now and seeing now, like it's going to get even easier. It's going to get even easier to do a lot of these applications and automations and data work, right? So gearing up for that, I think, is a really, really sound strategy, both individually, but also, but professionally, but also from a business perspective as well, right? Like, you should be prototyping these sort of things. You should be getting into learning how the whole application architecture actually works. I've been saying this for a while. Like, there's going to be 10 times from 2 years ago, there's going to be 10 times the amount of wedevelopers than there was. And I think like we're already on that trend. Like, we're already seeing exponential growth in how many developers there are, right? And it's only going to continue, particularly if these models get cheaper, easier to use. The tooling around them and continues to improve as well. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. So the full stack AI professional, I think, is a new way of thinking, because I think that there's also this entirely new tool set which is going to be opened up across all of those aspects of work, right? So I think that the entire data industry is about to be transformed. I think a lot of the tools that we've used in the past are just not going to be required in the very near future. I'm pretty confident of this just from some things that I've been working on and seeing that AI agents are going to start doing a lot of data work, and that's across all aspects of data work, because data work is just not like doing analysis, right? It's like cleaning data, it's creating databases, it's creating data models, it's running calculations, creating visualizations. But I think that this is going to go through a massive transformation. I really do. I really, really do. You know what I realized the other day? So deep, like if you haven't used Deep Research by OpenAI, it's currently available to just pro users of OpenAI, right? I've got a pro subscription. It's like $200 a month. It's super expensive, but I just want to be on the cutting edge. Well, they've just released this thing called Deep Research, right? What it does is you give it a prompt, and it comes back with this like 25-page report on anything, right? Like on anything. Sometimes it thinks for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it comes back with this incredibly detailed report. I've seen examples online. I've done a little bit with it, but I haven't done it extensively. But the examples online that I've seen is that you can ask this thing anything. You can ask this thing like incredibly detailed information, like scope. So say for instance you're a business, you can sort of describe what the data is saying, and say, oh, here's your competitors, and here's the market dynamics that you're dealing with, and it will go out and it will study all of those different things and come back with this report telling you everything that you should consider, and goes into incredible depth, right? Now, when I was using this and when I was seeing these examples, I was like, isn't this kind of like what the entire dashboarding industry has been like created to achieve? Like, if you think, what is data? Why do you even use data? It's to get information, it's to get insights, it's to make decisions based on these things, right? And so when I was using this, and when I was like looking at examples, I was thinking, wow, this is actually, so it's a completely new paradigm of working with data, if you think about it, right? Like, yes, it's not a fancy looking dashboard, but it's giving the decision maker the information it needs to make decisions, right? And to make quite highly informed decisions, sometimes in a much more logical and easy to digest format. And so when you look at that, and then I kind of look on the other side where AI agents can already build databases for you, they can already build data models for you. Yes, they can't do it in, say, like Power BI, but they can do it in other tools. Like there are other tools that already enable this. I've already been doing it with some of my new applications I've been building. Like, all of that is just being looked after by agents who create SQL code. They post it to an application, which then goes and builds the database for you. So all of that is already solved. It just isn't distributed throughout all the applications we're using yet. That part of it is solved. The data cleaning, I haven't seen great solutions there just yet, but look, it's certainly solvable. But I would even go as far to say, like, these agents, I think, are going to be able to take that part of data analysis, like cleaning of data, etc. I think a lot of that is going to be solved potentially by AI agents, and same with the analytics part. And then the visualization part might be different, right? Like, it might not be as highly weighted to creating dashboards. It might be more weighted to just getting the information out in a really easy to read and succinct format, right? It might even be chatbots. Like this change is going to happen to data. It truly is. It truly is. I don't think it's going to like reduce the amount of data professionals at all. I think it's going to increase the amount of data professionals. Like everyone can be a data professional. Like everyone can do this. I mean, you're just using natural language, right? And it's the same. It's like all of these same trends are happening across applications and automations, right? All I see AI doing is creating far more experts in these things, right? Like the amount of democratization happening in data or application development and automation is unbelievable. Like it's totally unbelievable. Like I would easily say that building a web-based app has gotten 10 times easier, 10 times easier, 10 times cheaper, 10 times quicker. And that's using tools like, I'm using tools like Lovable, Windsurf, but there's also tools like Bolt, there's tools like Cursor. There's this entire new wave of tools that are coming on stream. And as soon as a better model comes out, these tools are just going to get better like the next day. And, I wouldn't be surprised if better models come out in the next few weeks or months. So there's lots of talk about this even now. So yeah, the same trend is happening across like where a lot of what we thought of as data work is going to evolve to something new. I really do feel like that way. Even determined to see if I can build like this way for the computer. So like OpenAI have this new thing called Operator that's come out, and there's a lot of other open source projects where they can manipulate your computer just by voice, right? And I think that that might be something that you could do to some of the historic tools we've used, like Power BI or Excel. But I also feel like that's just a new solution on top of an old one, where like an entirely new paradigm will probably be required here, or probably will play out. Like if you think about what ChatGPT is doing, right? If you've used their data analysis tool, right, and then you pair that with their deep research tool, well, what is stopping them combining those two in their user experience? Like there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So it absolutely doesn't solve big data or anything like that, but it certainly solves a lot of like smaller use cases, right? Yeah, I haven't seen anything that solves like massive data sets, like millions and millions of rows. There's still some issues around that, but look, I do think that they will be solved. That's kind of where my mind is at right now. Okay, so I've sort of like evaluated the data part. The application part, like honestly, it's become so much easier. And as soon as like I've developed probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 apps in the last couple of months. I've really gone big into these tools. I talk about them all the time on social media, in our new AI builders community. I'm doing live streams about it, creating content about it. Got some courses coming up about how to get into this. I've learned GitHub. I've learned how to use an IDE. I've learned how to host websites, host applications. I've learned how to build databases for apps. I've learned how to connect to basically any AI API that I want to. And I didn't even know what an IDE was in September last year. Like this is the transformation that anyone can go through, right? And the more I get into it, the more I realize I want to learn more, and the more I realize how many opportunities there are. Like I even put together like a list of 10 things last night. I was sitting in bed, and I was like, I had all these ideas in my mind from the weekend, and I thought, okay, I've got to get all these ideas out there. And when you think about all the different modalities that are coming on stream, right? Like text, audio, visual, video, image, like just combining all of these things together via automations or applications. There's endless opportunity. There honestly is. There honestly is. Like apps that I've built like something that helps me generate all my content, or like take all of my ideas that I have in my mind and then construct it into content that actually works well on social media, right? I have also built a prompt array. I've built this like a prototype data agents application, which takes a small data set and does automatic analysis on it. I've built a desktop app for audio recording. All of these things that I find useful and help with my own productivity. I'm building out, and I have like 10 other ideas. Like I'd love to build an application that takes like a computer use API that enables me to build Power BI reports or build VBA code. Also, a lot of like audio things. Like, wouldn't it be great to have the computer look at your screen and walk you through how to do like very specific applications. So there's like a Google multimodal API that's just come out, and it's been out for like a month or so, and it's not full release just yet, but you can use the API and you can let it watch your screen and talk. You can have a conversation with the AI, right? It's actually pretty amazing. But the big issue with it is it doesn't know a lot of the like very specific things about applications. Like for example, you could show a Power BI report, right? But it just wouldn't know the UI that well, it's it just has its limitations on very very niche subjects, right? And so that's where there's tons of opportunity as well, right? Like you can there's so many different applications that everyone uses, right? And you want something to be able to view what you're doing and have like a really useful conversation, and then maybe actually do something, like actually do it for you, actually write that formula and input it, and then do it again, change your relationship here, change your visualization here. Like all of these things are truly becoming possible. They weren't before, but they are now. The other thing I'm learning a lot about is automations. Like I'm not talking about like the term agency. I'm just talking about automations are a big part of like application development, right? Like connecting to you, like what you can do now with when you're building these applications is you can just continually connect to these AI APIs to bring in some level of intelligence into whatever you're doing, right? And you can sprinkle that intelligence onto almost anything that you're doing, whether it's, maybe you need to download a data set. Maybe you need to look at a PDF and extract the information. Maybe you need to reconstruct something that you're writing. Maybe you need to create some marketing materials that include text and images that you need to overlay on each other. There's all of these like small automations that we can bring into every aspect of our day that you can now build with the help of these AI APIs. It's an entirely new operating layer to any digital work, right? Look, these are just ideas that swirl around in my mind on a daily basis almost. And that's why I had to come up with a term, and that's where the full stack AI professional came from, right? This is the new opportunity. This is the evolution for someone who maybe historically was a data person. Because of the fact you can do so much more, this is the area that you want to evolve into, in my opinion, right? It's almost open-ended what the opportunity set becomes, because you can bring your own expertise into combining all of these different new modalities and opportunities that are available to us, right? The application side has been completely democratized, where you're literally building with natural language. You're just typing. Well, in my case, I'm just voice typing everything. I'm speaking, and I'm building applications. That's really what I'm doing. And that includes even things like connecting to APIs. Like you've got to use the right tools to actually enable that. There's this, like as I said earlier, there's this entire ecosystem building up around these AI APIs, and they are enabling a lot of this work just by talking or just through natural language. So, I expect this to continue. I really do. I really, really do. Like some of these new tools and technologies, they're some of the fastest growing companies or digital businesses in the world right now, like Cursor and Windsurf and Lovable. Like these tools have got like 50,000, 100,000 users within like a couple of months. That's how empowering they are. And I don't see that growth changing, right? Yes, there's going to be a lot of competition coming into this space pretty soon, but that's great. That's great for consumers, right? AI models become cheaper to use. The tools are getting better. The models are getting better. It's just amazing. It is amazing how much opportunity there is coming up for those who really want to go for it. And that's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. My ambitions for Enterprise DNA have gone exponential over the past 6 to 12 months. Certainly in the last 6 months, as I've started learning how to develop applications and connecting to APIs and building out very custom things, and seeing the just enormous opportunities that are opening up. We can become so much more as a business, right? And this is what all businesses need to think about. This is what all managers need to think about. It's like, how can you use this new technology wave, this new tsunami of opportunity to do new things, to add value in different areas, to have different interactions with your customers, to find new customers. There's just huge opportunity set around all this. One of the other things that we're doing at Enterprising is we're actually going to we actually want to develop more applications for customers. So we're starting up a brand new offering called that we're calling Omni Intelligence. Website just went live, omniintelligence.co. And look, we're going to build applications for customers. We're not just going to talk about it, we're going to do it. So we're going to build applications ourselves, but if someone wants some prototypes, some AI applications built as well, we can do that too. So we're all in on this opportunity. It's just too big to miss. And I suggest that's the same for everyone, right? It's not just us. It's the same for everyone listening to this. It is a one of the best opportunities I've seen in my career. The biggest inflection points in my career to actually do new things, explore new opportunities, right? Cool. I might round off. I've got so many more ideas and thoughts around this, so I really got to find time to record more. And also, I share a lot of them across all my social medias. Also, AI Builders is where I spend probably the bulk of my time these days. When I'm thinking through my ideas, I always just try to get them down and share them. I'm sharing frameworks and workflows that I'm using within our AI Builders community as well, so that you can see exactly how I'm doing things. It's probably the quickest way to get up to speed with all the things that that I'm doing actually, and that we're working on internally. We've got we're a small team, and we're really heavily invested in building out a whole new suite of tools and applications, but also creating content along the way around how we're doing it. So that's a really good place to be if you want to see what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to end there. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and look forward to getting more out to you as soon as I can. Take care.